Well, welcome to another edition of GW Unspoken, where we discuss stuff we don't typically talk about, but should, or probably should. And we're up to Season 3, Episode 8, our last episode for community and culture. And today's podcast is named Build Future Communities That Are Actually Functional. We've got to build them, and we've got to make sure that they are functional. So otherwise, if they're not, I want you to think about what life could look like if we don't keep things moving forward in ways that we actually want to moving forward. And I suppose number one is talking to those parents out there. Number one is we need to be the parent. Be the parent, not the pal. Talked about that book before, but it's so important that we are not our children's friends. Yes, we build a bond. Yes, we build a love that's higher and greater than any other type of love we can with our siblings, or we should be. But that becomes still our role as a parent is to have guidelines, is to have rules and have consequences, because that's life and that's how people actually learn. I think too, having those role model behaviors, show, don't tell, be a doer. And that's even in business, it's so important. We've got so many people saying, knowledge is power. And I agree with that to an extent, but also doing is actually reflecting that power of actually moving forward and actually making it happen. You can have the most knowledgeable person ever, but unless you role model behavior and do it and show it, you're not going to get anywhere. And our really good leaders do that. Leaders in any kind of field do that. They actually show the way, they pave the way, and so people can actually see that. And they reckon even in business, if you're a leader and you're showing the way, typically only about 70% is actually following you anyway. So you need to be on your game all the time as a parent, as a friend, as a CEO, anyone in a position of power or who is trying to role model behavior, you need to do it. And the problem is that the latest research is showing that parents are becoming teens and teens are becoming children because our brains and physical maturation are not aiming up. They're not the same. And I know there's a lot more parents these days who are probably overworked, maybe even underpaid, but looking for second jobs or even trying to get a job. And so they're finding it hard to actually have that consistent role modeling behavior as a parent. And I guess the teens then, they're becoming more childlike because they're probably raising themselves. A lot of our children don't actually have real protection, or they're actually overprotected. No wonder kids are on devices and looking after themselves. And that's the problem. We've talked about that, and technology will be coming up soon in an episode, but we think that our kids are safer on their devices in their bedroom. They're not. You wouldn't give 24/7 access to pornography, shopping, gambling, alcohol, drugs, but that's what we're doing to them when we give them their phone or their devices in their rooms. Yes, physically you think they're safe, but mentally and the way they change the neural pathways and set them up for addictions for other things, it is not on. It is not good. It is not the right way to parent. We've got to allow our kids to fail. And the kids and the teens who are listening to this, really appreciate your feedback again. Make sure you allow yourself to fail. If you're not failing enough, you're not trying hard enough, you're not doing enough things. That's how we learn. We actually learn by failure. So don't be afraid to do that. And yeah, I like how Anthony Robbins says it. He says, if you have something go wrong in your life, you have a failure or something goes really sad or bad and you're really emotional about it, deal with it for 90 seconds. Think about it full on and give it an intensity of 90 seconds of that feeling, and then let it go, because you can't change it anyway. And and obviously it's really hard. That's not to do with a death or a fatality or anything like that. I'm talking about the things that we actually have to need to leave go and also learn from. That's the most important thing, is to learn from it. Be a guide. Don't solve problems for our kids. Teachers, the same thing. Don't give kids the answers just because they think they're going to be patient enough just to wait to give them the answer, because often that's what we do. All right? Guide them. Give them the tools. Show them the tool. Remember, role model behavior. Don't be a bulldozer parent. Don't just solve all the battles and crush things in this way so children have it easy, because once they do find the roadblock out in real life, you won't be there to save them. All right? Helicopter parents, same thing. Don't hover above them. Don't hover above them and try and solve all the problems that's going to come up or actually make things happen for them. Let students do it. It's important. It's important too that we be assertive. We say our feelings. We are polite, but also ask what we want. We don't demand it and be aggressive, and we don't have obligation or expectations of being passive. That's one of the biggest things that leads to poor self-esteem is passive behavior. Just being obliged and just saying, yep, no matter what you want, that's fine, you do it. The reason why it does lead to poor behavior or poor self-esteem is because it's in conflict with who we really are. And the more you put that mask on and do things that you don't seriously believe you want to do or believe in, it's against your personal value set. And often that value set is formed from your family or your past or from the associations that you hang around. Remember the 5 people you hang around, you become? That's important. So poor self-esteem comes from you not being your real self. Be assertive. Say what you want. Say it politely, and then you will get your way, or you will not only get your way, but you actually say the things that you want and believe in. And if it's not the right thing, you don't get what you want, you think is the right thing for you, it's time to move on. All right? Be the best version of you. Listen to you. Get yourself right. Don't necessarily have to listen to your friends or your family who think they're telling you something you don't firmly believe in. All right? You need to fight the mask. The person, they say the man in the mirror doesn't lie. That goes for women as well. All right? When you look in the mirror, that person doesn't lie. You know who you are when you look at yourself in the mirror every day. Have you ever done that? Have you actually got up, finished cleaning your teeth, and then take 15 seconds? There's a goal. Try it. Try for 15 seconds. Look at yourself in the mirror, straight in the eye. Look at who you really are. Are you in conflict with who you are because you are acting in a way that other people expect you to, or that it's in conflict with who you really are just to fit in? Don't do that. It will give you poor self-esteem. You'll be frustrated with yourself, all right? Be the real you. Find the people who have similar beliefs, likes, values, and hang around those. Be around those people where you are the smallest in the inner circle. Grow yourself. Find that people or that group of people to build a functional community. Like I said, the person in the mirror doesn't lie. What is your reflection right now? We know that a picture paints 1,000 words. What are the words now about you? If there was a eulogy about you right now, if you're at a funeral and they say that usually a funeral is around 200 people, 100 to 200 people in your direct influence of people. If someone was writing a eulogy, if you were to write now a eulogy about you, what would you say about yourself? I want you to think about that. It's a really important step to do in goal setting. What would people say about you? How do you feel about you? Is it the same thing? If it's not, it means you're wearing your mask too much. I really hope that these episodes are helping. Building a strong community and culture and building a future community that are functional means that you have to do these things. Allow people to fail. Give people the tools. Role model the behavior. Be that person to be a great role model for people. Remember, listen to yourself. You know who you really are authentically. All right? The person in the mirror doesn't lie. Take 15 seconds to see who you really are. And if you're not happy, there's too much conflict between the mirror and who you perceive or how you perceive you are based on how you act, change it. Change it. Be you. There's already millions of other people who are themselves. Change to be you. I'm really looking forward to bringing you the next episode where we start season 4. And season 4 will be talking about purpose and leadership, moving on from community culture. And I hope to have you in listening on our show then. Have a great evening.